is happening, fellow fantasy GMs? I am JJ Wang. He is the bearded one, DJ Dub. And with our powers combined, we are the Fantasy Couriers.
Well, JJ Wang, week 7. We are ready to rock and roll. This hopefully came out, unless my computer crashes, dinner time before the Thursday night games. We won't go a lot in because it's Thursday night, and I can tell you what, I am done with Thursday night. I don't even want to talk about it.
I mean, it is what it is. I mean, they haven't been good. I mean, sure, we'll catch a game eventually that's going to be pretty good.
Yeah,
It has to at some point.
it can't be this week because it's going to be nobody left from the Saints versus the underwhelming Cardinals. So I'm assuming by the time you've listened to this that D-Hop has went off and is just going.
Just make sure if you're a Kyler Murray owner, don't watch the game. It's going to be miserable.
Now that I'm a double Kyler Murray owner, I got to do what I got to do. So
don't watch.
I'm not. I'm tired. I did something to my back, man. I'm sitting here. It like hurts to move. We're getting old. We're getting old, dude. But let's not worry about being old. We are the Fantasy Couriers. We're a bunch of old guys who like football. We like to chat. We like to do this. It keeps us entertained, helps us to just get to chat it with somebody who wants to hear it. And if y'all want to hear it, we're here to tell you. So without further ado, let's just jump into it. Start and sit. Who are you going to start? Who are you going to sit? Let's find out. So we have a couple things from Facebook here, a couple of questions asking us about, and I have too many windows open on my computer that I can't get around. Here we go. Ryan wants to know, Taysom Hill or Kittle this week? I responded. I told him I'd update based upon what you think.
I would go George Kittle. I mean, he had a good game last week. Hill is literally boomer. You just don't have no idea what you're going to get from week to week. At least Kittle, you know what you're going to get. You might get 30 out of Taysom Hill, but you also might get like 0. So I'd probably go Kittle.
Yeah, I told him the same. Actually, I didn't even realize I have Hill ranked really high because the tight end,
I could be a top 10 tight end.
Yeah, so like I have Kittle at 4 and Hill at 5. So I said, hey, gotta go with Kittle over Hill, I guess, because I'm looking at Hill this week. I ranked him so high because who are they going to throw to? There's no one. Troutman even went down, and he might have even gotten a couple. So it's like him and apparently a lot.
But Hill doesn't make his money catching the ball, right?
Well, they're going to have to eventually pass to him because there's
but he makes his points when he runs. When he runs. But so I mean, if he's not running, he's a useless tight end. So I'd go Kittle.
Yeah, I went Kittle as well, so I'm going to leave it there. We got it. Poor wants to know, Metcalf, Chase, Hopkins. So he has Hopkins stashed. Which two do you start?
I mean, I'd probably go Chase and Hopkins just because Metcalf is who knows. Chase is you know what you get from Chase and Hopkins without Brown, right? Yeah, without Brown, and I'm sure he's ready to go. So he's going to fit right in and be Hopkins. Might not, but that's the way I would go.
Yeah, I'm high on D-Hop this week. I moved him up fairly decent because I'm figuring, especially without Brown, he's going to come back ticked off. He's like, dude, I had to set these games for just being a knucklehead. And I could totally see this is the week that Murray is consistent. Whether you like it, people like it or not, you say don't watch him because you're still going to get 20, 25 points. So Hopkins is now the beneficiary unless it's Rondale Moore. So, yeah, I'm with you. Hopkins and Chase. Metcalf is a guy I'm starting to grow on. I mean, all it's Chase for sure. The other two, it could if you're a fan of one of those teams, pick them because I think it could be that close between the two, to be honest. But you got to start Hopkins, and you got to do it tonight. But make sure you put him in your wide receiver spot. Don't put him in your flex. Forrest wants to know, Eno Benjamin or Kenyon Drake? Yuck.
Yeah, yuck. It's a
Corey Clement.
I mean, Drake had the good game, but like I said, you just don't know what you're going to get. Benjamin, he had his chance. He wasn't good. So I'd probably go Drake just because I think they're going to run the ball a little more.
I might start Devin Singletary on the bye. But I'd go Drake because that way it gives you till Sunday to maybe pull off a trade. You can look around and be like, hey, Benjamin looked terrible. Drake's getting some push there in Baltimore, and if not, see what you can get on the trade market. I mean, you do have 11 to 15 other teams in your league, that you could maybe get a trade to get something there going on. Running backs are tough, though, to trade for. Good luck with that. Donnie says, I have Saquon Barkley, Fournette, Brees Hall, and Pierce. So that means he drafted those guys late. Good drafting.
Yeah.
He's got to start 3.
Good
So he's
situation.
starting Fournette and Barkley. He's deciding between Hall and Pierce.
I mean, that's probably the way I would go, and I think Hall. I'd probably go Brees Hall. I think he's a better running back. I'm not sure who they're playing, but just from the last couple of weeks, he's on a roll. I mean, Pierce has been good too, but he's been not as efficient as Hall has been. So I'll go Brees Hall there.
So yeah, I'm gonna go with Pierce this week. So sorry, dude, we can't help you. Hall's got the Broncos, and you're looking at Pierce. I just lost it. I was looking at all of this. Houston plays. Where did it go? Houston plays with the Raiders. So both of them have tough defensive matchups, but it sounds like they're just going to give Pierce the ball and keep giving Pierce the ball, and then they're going to give Pierce the ball some more. So, Donnie, basically, between the two of us, I don't see Hall and Pierce being that far apart from each other. I'll be 100%. They're like with the last one. So if you have one you like more, I mean, I don't see a big variation between Hall and Pierce. I could see them being fairly close by the end of the week.
Yeah, I mean, it's just unfortunate you can't start both of them. All 4 of them.
Oh, daggone it. I got to say Hall. I have him 9 and Pierce 10. Oh, that's standard. Oh, let's go. I don't play standard. I got Hall. Yeah. Hall 12. Pierce. Yeah, I got to say Hall then. It's Hall tiebreaker based on my rankings. Hall. I would play Pierce to like you more. Jacob wants to know Juju or Lockett. My mistake last week and set Juju. But he's not going to repeat it, right? PPR league. This dude's 5-1. He's playing with house money for a couple weeks. So Juju or Lockett? Is Juju going to repeat, or is Lockett going to bounce up? These are the crapshoot guys.
Yeah, these are just guys you don't know. Well, you know what you're going to get from Lockett. I don't think he had a good game last game. Probably not going to have a good game this game. Then it might have one next. So I'd probably go Juju here, just because they'll probably throw a lot more.
I'm going, higher powered offense. I just can't see. I like Geno, and I think he's going to be – I just don't see that high, super crazy output. I don't think both of them can be sustained. I think Metcalf's better than Lockett, and maybe that was Juju's breakout game. So I would ride the Juju train. Preston wants to know, Keenan Allen, if he's healthy, over Curtis Samuel? I mean, he's not going to be healthy, right?
I mean, if he's healthy, I'm definitely playing Keenan Allen. But I don't even know if he is. Is he?
He's questionable. My brother and I were texting right before the show, and he's like, "Dude, do I play Rondell Moore tonight or Gallup? Because I'm just tired of dealing with Keenan Allen." And I was like, I like Rondell Moore a lot, but I'd almost want to wait. And Gallup's a decent fill in there if you don't play him. I don't see Gallup and Moore being that big of a difference. But yeah, Keenan, you always play over Curtis Samuel if he's healthy. And I'm worried about Curtis Samuel this week because Heineke loves Scary Terry. So is Curtis Samuel going to get any push this week, or is it going to be a Scary Terry explosion? Like, I moved him up.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. It is Taylor Heineke, so.
But he throws to Terry McLaurin. Like, McLaurin really was good last year, I think. That's what I'm wondering about that.
And we'll see. Like, I'm not really. Curtis Samuel's kind of, I don't know. Everybody had a bad week last week, so.
Yeah.
Definitely staying away from him if I can.
This is John, my boy from my Regulators League. He wants to know Amari Cooper or Tyler Lockett.
I'm going to go with Amari Cooper. I mean, he's been pretty consistent. I think he's a top 10 wide receiver at the moment, if not pretty close to it. So, and Tyler Lockett, I mean, Amari Cooper can have a boom game just like Lockett can have a boom game. There's just as good a chance. So, the floor is a lot safer with Cooper. So, yeah, I'm going Amari Cooper.
I have them within 3 spots of each other, but I'm still.
I don't even think it's that close.
Yeah, I just say with the rankings, I have to figure out like where do I put, how do I bank guys in, who's got the. I mean, I see the Seattle Chargers game being a shootout, and Lockett, he's either going to be 5 or 55, so why not go in the middle? And I just don't see Cooper versus Baltimore being super great. That's why they're closer than they really are in real life. But I'd start Cooper as well. I gotta abstain from this one. Boonthea wants to know.
Is this actually you?
No,
asking this question.
If you read it backwards, it says Adam.
I'm not gonna lie, I did check that. That's what I thought. I was like, is this Adam asking this question?
It is not me asking this question. But it's Boonthea, who's a person of my own heart wants to know Tua or Lawrence. And the cool thing for me is I don't have to make this choice this week because I get to start both of them in my Superflex league. So if you have to start Tua coming back off the he didn't know where he was on the planet Earth, or Trevor Lawrence, who's nothing spectacular against the upstart Giants in Jacksonville, who are you going to start?
I'm probably going Trevor Lawrence. I mean, I might be on the opposite side of most people, but I haven't been a fan of Tua. Other than 15 minutes, he's been an average quarterback. I just don't understand.
I just realized it's the Sunday night game. I had no clue it was the Sunday night game.
Oh, these two are the Sunday night
No,
game?
no, no. Dolphins and Steelers. Dolphins are playing the Steelers. That's why I would go Tua.
Uh,
The Steelers are
uh,
terrible. Not because it's the Dolphins, but yeah, I didn't realize the Dolphins and Steelers. That's terrible. That's the Sunday night game this week. I was like, oh, 1 o'clock. I'll watch. Oh no, it's Sunday night, which works out because I'm off Monday from school.
nice.
School's closed on Monday. But yeah, so Jaguars play the Giants. That's why I would almost go Tua because the Giants are playing decent ball. I mean, once again, all these people are asking us questions of guys that I really think are that close this week. Like, I don't think it's a big like they are literally back to back in my rankings.
Yeah, I mean they're going to be
About
right
one.
next to they're going to be right next to each other. I mean, it's I'm going to say Lawrence. You're going to say Tua. I mean, that's how pretty much I feel like everybody. I feel like it would be a 50-50 response pretty much if you asked it. If you asked anybody,
It's a weird week without Josh Allen. It's like, wow, where does everybody fall? It's like, no Josh Allen, where's everybody fall? We got him there, and I looked at when I was ranking, I was like, man, running back super strong this week. Quarterback, I'm like, man, like I have Geno Smith in the top 10 and I want to vomit a little bit doing that. But that's what he's been doing. And that's where I put him. So Simon wants to know Brandon Cooks or Rondell Moore in his flex. I mean, everybody asks us questions about tonight. Cooks has been poor, but might be playing a high-scoring shootout against the Raiders. Moore looks like he might be starting to get going with Hollywood out, but D-Hop's coming back. So Cooks or Rondell?
Well, I don't see at the moment the Raven or the Texans doing any high scoring at the moment. Their offense hasn't been high octane. I don't think in any form this. I'd probably go Rondale Moore at this point just for the upside. He's been getting 6 or 7 catches. Not a lot of yards, but you just hope maybe eventually he'll break one.
Okay. Uh, it's a coin flip.
Plus, if it's PPR, you would want more anyway because you get more
Yeah.
catches. Right?
Yeah, if it's PPR, if it's straight up PPR more, if it's half or standard, it's a coin flip. I might lean Cooks just because of the experience. And the Raiders, they're not going to run as well on the Raiders. Probably have to pass more to stay in the game. Ronnie wants to know Stafford. Would you trade Stafford and Jamar Chase for Lamar Jackson and CD Lamb? His other receivers are Godwin and Reynolds. So he upgrades quarterback a lot, downgrades receiver
a lot.
plenty. It's a fair trade, right?
It's a fair trade. I mean, it's like, what do you need more, quarterback or wide receiver? And Stafford's been playing like crap.
Yeah.
At least Lamb has played decent at times. Jackson is kind of in a slump. I'm kind of not in a slump, but he hasn't been playing great the last couple of weeks. Chase, that's a good trade. I would rather have Jackson and Lamb. That's who I would rather have.
It's gross. I agree with you. I think it's a Chase is the big Chase and Jackson are the biggest pieces in here. Jackson's worth more than Chase, right? And then you're looking at Stafford versus Lamb. Even though we're crossing boundaries there. Like, but the problem is his Reynolds is his other receiver. Like, that's the weird thing for me.
But your quarterback is going to be Matt Stafford. Have you seen Matt Stafford play the last few weeks?
Yeah, Godwin's going to blow up, I think, soon, and then you'll have Lamb and Godwin, a good 1-2, a good high end twos more or less for the time being until they get into that. They both could be one. See what Dak does, and then I'd start waiver wire and trade and see what you can do for Reynolds there, man. That's a tough one. Okay, well, before we get into our game by game discussion, something happened this week in a league we were in. And one of the members of this event was asking me some questions. We were talking actually afterwards, and he asked us if we could do a trade etiquette discussion here on the Couriers. And I didn't notice he said, "Hey, could y'all do a segment?" I just responded to his question. I was like, "Oh, I can't read, can I?" So I was like, "Hey, I'm going to take a couple minutes, ask you, and maybe something we delve deeper into in the off season." But what went down was I woke up and looked on my phone, and Cooper Kupp had been traded for Taylor Heineke. Um, and they're like, "Hey, something's wrong here." I thought the two people were friends, so I called collusion immediately, and they have no clue who each other is. And I didn't know what to do, and it was one of my busy days. I said, "Guys, I will get to it later. I have no clue what to do, and I'm not going to worry about it right now because I love fantasy football, but I was leading a conference a class last night that was more important." But the question is, what? So yeah, so sometimes there's gonna be weird cruddy. Like we're both against vetoes in a league, correct?
Yeah, pretty. I can see that. I'm sure I see most people probably.
Most people now are against vetoes. If a trade like that comes across in a league where you're a commish, what do you do?
Yeah, I don't know. That's all. I mean, it's a tough question. I really don't know. I'm trying to figure out how you would have handled that if they didn't reverse it back. I mean, because I mean, you can't prove that they know each other, and
Well, they don't. They don't know each other. They're one of them is a friend of your brother-in-law, and the other dude used to work with
yeah.
you on the other. So they don't know each other at all. And once I found that out, that's when I was floored. I was like, I don't know what to do. And the one guy thought it was a legit trade, but I was just like I think I wrote on the thread before I left. It said, "Do you even watch football?" Like Taylor Heineke is the quarterback for the Commanders for a couple of weeks, but Cooper Kupp is like a top 3 receiver. Then he's going to be a top 10 receiver for a couple of years. Then he's going to be a top 15 for a couple. You know, like he's not
Well,
going. You know,
I
like
under, I understand what he was doing, right?
yeah,
But he just shot a little high. I mean, like I said, he shot with the absolute best offer he could possibly send, right? I mean, it's just hopefully just next time start low and then just build your way up start from the bottom of your roster and work your way up, not from the top down, right?
yeah, no, because yeah, like you can't. There's no. I was like, there's no place on planet Earth where Cooper Cup should be traded for Heineke. So anyway, but yeah, the long story short is what happened is people in the thread just chatted. They're like, "Hey, could y'all reverse the trade?" And the one dude was cool about it. The guy who actually asked us to talk about trades here, he was cool about it. Like I commend him because I don't know. I didn't know what to do because he did nothing wrong. He
Yeah.
followed the rules. It came across the table, and I think everybody in the world would be like, "Boom, accept." Um, and the other team.
I don't know if I would have accepted that.
So I'd be curious. It'd be a curious poll question to see how many people accept it. Like I don't know what I would do. I would be like, hey, did you do this by accident? I did a trade with my brother-in-law in another league, and I was like, man, you're not getting enough in this. Let me throw something in. It turns out I was wrong because Chase Edmonds stinks. But I felt like I was jipping him, and I didn't want to. But yeah, so yeah. But anyway, questions to follow on that. Like in general, as far as with leagues, what do you do when you get an insulting offer? So let's say instead someone said, "Hey, I'll give you Taylor Heineke for a Cooper Cup," and you know that's total garbage. What do you do with that offer? Do you
Uh,
reject
most
it and
of
move on?
most of the time, I just reject it and move on because they know it's a bad trade, and maybe they're just trying to get something started. But I don't see that I don't see going that way. How you get something started because that's just annoying from the get go. I mean, if you want to send something stupid back, I mean, I've done it before. I mean, I've got no issues with it. So, I mean, since I'm completely ridiculous, because that is literally a ridiculous,
Offer.
would be, like I said, I don't even know if I could accept that one.
So yeah, that,
I feel so bad.
how do you feel about multi-team trades? Like Sleeper now gives you that multi-team trade. I've never got it to work. Did you got one to work, right?
I mean, I've got a couple to work. I mean, if you want to sit down and mess around with it that much and involve a third team, send this thing to that, this thing. I mean, it's a good idea. I mean, I don't see anything wrong with it. It's fun if you get it worked out right. It's
How
interesting.
how about leagues where there's just a trade that's bad? Like how would you evaluate like I don't think I've ever seen a trade that bad in my 20 years of fantasy,
Yeah, I mean,
23 years of fantasy now. Uh, where do you like are bad trades in the eye of the beholder most of the time? Aren't they most of the time?
absolutely, because I'm not. So I seem to think that every trade that goes down is a bad trade
Me too.
for somebody, like everybody. So I mean, like, but I'm sure the same thing happens. I'll send out trades. People probably think, "What is this guy doing?" I think it's good for me. So it's definitely an eye of beholder because every trade that comes through, I'm like, "What is this?" I don't understand.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's definitely. But like I said, I have no. Who cares what I think? I mean, if two people agree on it, then it's their teams. As long as they're not in on it together. I mean, have at it, man.
Yeah, and just my warning only to leagues is just to be careful what you're doing because if you do a trade with a buddy, some way collusion or something, that will end a league. People, I saw some threads on the Dynasty Nerds League where they're like, "Yeah, these are things." I've seen some trades in there that are ridiculous. They're like, "This ended."
Or husband and wife.
I don't know what you're talking about. We're not opening that can of worms. My wife
Just
was like,
saying. Just saying. Be careful out there. You know who I'm talking to.
"Oh, you called out your sister." Okay. And now a message from our favorite sponsor.
Underdog Fantasy is the best and easiest place to play fantasy sports. Now that we are in season, they offer even more fantasy sports options. You can choose to play 4 to 6 round draft contests with up to 10 people. You can even create your own private draft room.
And that's not all. Underdog also offers pick'em fantasy contests where you decide if players will go higher or lower than a listed stat line, from touchdowns to yards to interceptions and many more. It's a fun way to show your fantasy prowess. Sign up now with the code Couriers and they'll double your first deposit up to $100 in bonus cash.
And just in case you missed that, when you make your first deposit of 10 or more dollars, deposit 100, get 100 free.
And with their slick mobile app and user-friendly website, you'll have no problem jumping in and drafting your squad or making your best picks.
So join Underdog today, and don't forget to use the code Couriers. A link is in the notes of the podcast.
Now back to the podcast. Game by game preview. We got a handful of minutes here to roll through the games this week. Just to make sure that you are paying attention to this week. Bye weeks are they're about as brutal as last week. These could be the worst 2 weeks of bye weeks in the league. And last week's hit me a lot harder than this week. I have one team. I get to play my brother once a year, and of course, it's the week I don't have Josh Allen or Miles Sanders. I was like, come on, man. Luckily, but so you're without the Bills this week. So that's Allen, a whole bunch of stud receivers, and possibly a flex running back. You're without the Rams. Good for you. No Cooper Kupp. You're without the Vikings. That's probably Cousins, the Mendoza line of quarterbacks. Without Dalvin Cook this week, Justin Jefferson, stud receiver, and Adam Thielen, a good flex guy, and maybe KJ Osborne if you're in dire straits for flexes. He's up and down. You're without the Eagles. 2 great receivers, one great receiver and an okay receiver. No Miles Sanders, who's having a good year. No Dallas Goedert, the best tight end in the world, and no Jay. I mean, we're missing 2 of the top 4 quarterbacks, correct? For the week. So it's
yeah. I mean, like you said, this bye weeks. I don't pay a lot of attention to bye weeks when I draft. I mean, I
don't do anymore.
Zero attention. So and honestly, I really don't pay much attention to it until the bye week actually happens, and I wake up and I'm like, I got 4 people on bye. Like I woke up and realized the Bills were on bye, and I was like, I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? But you just gotta, like, I don't pay much attention to it, so I'm just like, oh my God, I go pick up a quarterback. Luckily, I mean, you kind of build into it when you draft. So I mean,
yeah, we also play a lot. Like my redraft team, I pay a little more attention, but not as much as I used to. Used to pay too much attention to it and overcompensate. Most of what we have is Dynasty, and you're not going to drop your Dynasty guys. Like, I'm starting Davis Mills this week because Josh Allen's on a bye. It's going to hurt. But I'm doing it for you. So let's run through these teams. We're going to do like a speed, like 10 minutes or so here to get through it so you can get off.
Only 10, about 10 minutes.
We're 10 because you got to go do some soccer with your kiddo. So we got Browns and Ravens. We got Nick Chubb or Lamar Jackson. Who has more rushing yards?
Nick Chubb.
Is Bateman a wide receiver too?
I think if he's I would say no. Not for no.
Let's say he's healthy. Bateman or Cooper, who would you play?
Bateman or Cooper? Cooper.
Njoku, a top 12 tight end.
Well, sure. Anybody could be.
Well, I'm going to name every tight end from this point on. We got the Buccaneers playing the Panthers. Do you really care about the Panthers right now, other than McCaffrey?
No, absolutely not.
Are you stashing Shea Smith?
I did stat. I don't. Did I get him?
It's not went through. I put him.
I went through, but hopefully, I would try to give it a shot.
Yeah, I got him in. I think we're going to be competing against each other.
Well, that's probably not really. I don't know if I even put any money down on
it. So it's whoever has a higher waiver priority. Because
I'm gonna have to go back and put some money down on it.
After this, we're gonna both go in there to see who puts the most money. Luckily, you'll be driving, so I got some time. The Buccaneers. If you say you drafted and you're like a Tampa fan and you draft both Buccaneers receivers, but due to your team you can only play one, which one of those 2 guys are you playing?
I'd go Chris Godwin.
Tom Brady, is he a top 12 QB this week because of the Panthers, even though we've dropped?
Oh yeah, that's true. I would say yes. I think he has a good game this week.
Okay. Leonard Fournette is raising eyebrows. I believe right now Leonard Fournette, I have not as high as I saw some dude have Leonard Fournette as his like top 3 running back for
Yeah,
the
he's
week.
killing it, man. He's getting like so many. Nobody there is literally no other running back, man. He gets
Okay.
everything.
Rashad White, what happened to him? Falcons and the Bungles. They are both
Oh,
3-3. The Falcons have the offensive player of the week, Marcus Mariota. Is he a quarterback 2 this week then?
I mean,
Top
if
24?
I would get, I guess you would
Super
probably
flex
start.
quarterback?
You would probably be starting Mariota as your QB too, but I would try so hard not to.
Is Drake London startable, or is you got to wait and see now?
I'll probably wait and see because he's got like 3 games in a row where he's got like 5 points or something crazy.
Yeah, luckily I
It's
benched him.
not good. I mean, I feel like if Pitts wasn't a tight end, I feel like he'd be the exact same way. But I mean, you got to start him.
Joe Mixon, will he end the year as a running back 1 or running back 2?
That's a good question. I was thinking about Mixon earlier in the week. I think he's going to be between like 11 to 14. That's what I'm thinking. So I'll say high. I'll do that QB2.
Due to bye weeks and injuries, you have to start one Falcons running back. They got a split carries. Which
Yeah,
one are you starting?
but I will go. I'll go Aljair just because I've got more invested in him. But like I said, they're both getting 15 carries.
I've only
They're
got Huntley, and I got to play him. It stinks
yeah.
against my brother. Lions versus the Cowboys. Is Jared Goff done?
Oh, that's your boy. What already? After one bad
No,
game, he's
I'm
already
asking
done?
you. Like, he's still my boy. I still got him. I mean, I did trade for Kyler, but as Kyler or Jared Goff,
Well,
it's
I need him not to be done because I just traded for Amon-Ra St. Brown. So I need Jared Goff to continue to be good. But I think Jared Goff is going to be who Jared Goff is. I mean, at the end of the day, he's going to be what 225 and a touchdown, maybe. I mean, it's like that kind of 13, 14, 15 fantasy point type guy.
you can only start one tight end. You got Hawkinson or Schultz with Dak returning.
Oh God, Hawkinson.
Asking for a friend. Who's more valuable in Dynasty long term, Wandell Robinson or Dalton Schultz in a tight end premium league?
Let's say Wandell Robinson.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Uh, the unstoppable force known as the Giants versus the Jaguars. Are there any receivers in this game other than Christian Kirk you would even consider starting in a flex?
No, no, no,
Not even Wandell?
no, probably not. I don't. I mean, I don't. No, not at all.
Are you still starting James Robinson?
I would probably, if I could, I'd probably take a week off. I mean, if I miss, I miss. But I mean, you literally just can't. I mean, it can't just keep doing the same thing over and over and over and expecting different results. I mean, if you got like somebody you might, yeah. So I mean, if you got like Rondell Moore, I mean, and you could choose between Rondell Moore and James Robinson, I might go Rondell Moore or something like that in the flex spot, right?
Yeah. Is Saquon? We are literally midway through the regular fantasy season. It's 14 weeks, so this will be the end of it. Maybe we'll do some midweek stuff next week. But is Saquon going to end the year as RB1?
No, man. Austin Eckler is. He's killing it right now.
It's gonna be a horse race there. Let's go to the Colts versus the Titans. We got a battle of 3-2 teams in the AFC crud. Okay, Matt Ryan or Ryan Tannehill, bye week blues. They're stud quarterbacks out, and those two are on the waiver wire. Who are you picking up?
Matt Ryan, just because Tannehill is at least Matt Ryan. There's a chance. You can score some points. I don't think there's any chance that Tannehill is any good.
Okay, cool. Will Malik Willis play this year?
I mean, if they're out of the playoffs and they don't, why not? I mean, they got to put him in there, right?
I hope so. And I mean, you're starting both the star running backs as long as they're playing. I mean, apparently Taylor opted not to play last week. That makes me kind of sad. Packers versus the Washington Commanders. Is this the Packers get right game?
If there is an opportunity, this is it. Redskins are dreadful before. I mean, Heineke might get
Commanders. No, gotcha.
Commanders.
That's what
Heineke might give them like a little shot in the arm and play pretty well as that backup quarterback can do sometimes. And then
that was my follow up with Heineke. Is he a flex starter this year or week, or do you got to be really, really, really dead to do it?
I mean, you got to be in trouble, but I mean, I mean, if he's a starting quarterback, pick him over most people.
There's four running backs that most people have on their rosters. Would all of them at least qualify as a flex, and then obviously Jones as a starter?
Say that again.
So we got four running backs. We got Jones, we got Dillon, we
Uh,
got Gibson, we got Robinson. Jones obviously is a starting running back, so he's going to be an RB1 for you. Are the other guys at least flexes?
I think I think Brian Robinson maybe. I don't. Gibson's no chance at all.
Not even
Um,
Gibson.
I'm a little down on that. So I think Robinson, there's a chance. I'm a little scared on Dillon.
Okay, Jets and Broncos. Ooh, hope Russ plays. Brees Hall's gonna. Is Melvin Gordon even a flex? They say they're gonna play him, or are you throwing Lat Murray in a flex?
I'd rather have Lat Murray because as soon as Melvin Gordon does anything a little bit wrong, I mean, he's going to be. That might happen in the first play, my first drive, or it might not. It's a scary situation.
And my boy Greg Dulcich had a coming out party last week. Are you starting him this week, or is it just dumb luck?
I think it was probably dumb luck.
He's so good. With that mustache and the hair, I want him to be like the next big thing. He's like Gardner Minshew.
I mean, how many times do tight ends have a good game and we don't hear from them again for
every week? Texans versus the Raiders. Between them, they have 2 wins this week and 1 tie. The golly, you got to start. I don't even know what to put. Pierce, you got some good starting running backs, but decent defense. Is Pierce RB1 or RB2 this week?
I'd say he's like a mid-range RB2. I'm still afraid to put him up as an RB1. Still kind of afraid to do that just because of the team. I know he can still be good, but I think it caps his upside a little bit. So I'm still thinking like a mid-range too.
Renfro or Cooks?
Oh, that's a good one. I'm gonna go Cooks.
And is is Davis Mills a super flex quarterback, or is he out of that?
I mean, if you got somebody better, I mean, I don't know what your quarterback. I mean, obviously,
you put him top 24. That would answer the question.
I'd probably put him like 25.
Okay, so no. Seahawks versus Chargers. This game's going to be a shootout. What Chargers do you start Josh Palmer anymore, or is he dead to the world?
I would not start Josh Palmer. I just took him out of the league earlier.
Is now Kenneth Walker a top 10 quarterback, top 10 running back?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I just got him, so I'm excited. Chiefs versus the 49ers. Who's the best receiver in this game other than Debo?
Brandon
Ayuk. Ooh. Kittle or Kelsey? Say somehow you got
Kelsey. Kelsey.
And running backs. Are you starting? Where would you put these running backs?
Garbage.
They're probably low end.
I'm not starting. They're all garbage. I wouldn't. I'd be scared to start any of them in a flex.
Steelers versus the Dolphins. Dolphins good secondary. Steelers got receivers. Najee's going to be a dumpster fire. Is Najee still a running back too, or would he be an RB3 versus that decent Dolphins line?
I have RB3, maybe a flex spot at this point.
And just to make me feel good, Dolphins are going to win this, right?
Yep, sure.
Patriots, Bears, how bad is this? Is Ramondre a top 5 running back this week? I've seen him at like 3 to 5.
Well, it depends on if Harris plays or not. I mean, if Harris is trending towards playing, so I might cap it a little bit. But yeah, I mean, if he's got the workload, yeah, absolutely.
Justin Fields, he's a quarterback 3 this week versus the Patriots defense, right?
Probably. He has had 2 decent games in a row. I mean, where it doesn't look terrible. I mean, he's got like 18 to 20 points. I mean, it's
defense though. Okay, yeah, JJ Wang.
I'd still be scared.
Close this out. Let's go to week 7, man.
So unfortunately, I don't have soccer practice is coming up. I got a referee tonight, the scrimmage. So wish me luck. But yeah, just remember to set your lineups. I did it again last week during
2 weeks in a row.
Defensive players, man. I hate it. But yeah, we'll say I think I'm good this week. I'm gonna say it until I don't do it. It's gonna be my wisdom until I fix my own problem.
That's why I start my lineups on Saturdays. Every Saturday night before I go to bed.
I'm trying to get earlier. I worked on it a little bit, before our podcast. But yeah, as always, trust yourself and trust the process.